Check, check. Okay. All right. We want to welcome everybody to this evening's meeting. If everybody want to try to find them a seat where they can see, I know there's some over there in the corner. But we'll start out thanking everybody for coming tonight to tonight's meeting. And Mr. County Administrator, if you want to do the call to order and roll call.
Thank you, Chairman. You got it? Okay, good. Welcome to the Russell County Board of Supervisors, March the 2nd, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the Russell County Government Center. I'd like to first start off with a call of order and roll call. Andrew Hensley.
Here.
William Wallace.
Here.
Tara Dye.
Here.
Steve Breeding.
Here.
Rebecca Dye.
Here.
Nate Kaiser.
Here.
And David Eaton.
Here.
Sir, you have a quorum.
Thank you. First, we'll start out with the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody would stand. Caleb.
Let us pray. Father God, Lord, we love you. We thank you. We praise you today, Father. Father, we thank you for allowing us to be a part of our local government, Father. And Father, we thank you for these pretty days that you have given us this past week, Father. We ask that you lead, guide, and direct us in everything that we do. For it's in your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Okay, we'll go straight into new business. Approval of the minutes. Consider approval of the minutes.
Agenda.
I'm sorry. Approval of the agenda. Thank you, Mr.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion we approve the agenda as presented.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Sorry about that. Now we're going down to new business. The approval of the minutes. Consider approval of the minutes of the following meeting of the Russell County Board of Supervisors and the unapproved minutes of February 9, 2026.
Make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
And thank you, ma'am. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay, thank you. Approval of expenditures. Approval to pay the bills.
Motion to approve the bills, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Ms. Stein, Ms. Lee. Okay, any discussion on the expenditures? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you all. And we'll go on into committee appointments for board consideration. And I know this is Ms. Tara.
Yes, Mr. Chair, as you know, I've had a really rough month and I have not been able to get up with them yet. So if we could just table that till next month, I would really, really appreciate that. And I do apologize.
No, that's okay. We understand. How's your son?
He's good. He's
Good.
doing good.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank God for that. Now we got the Russell County Tourism Advisory Committee. We have a resignation. Michelle Vance has resigned from that position. Pleasure of the board. I don't know what was that yours, Andy?
That was my appointment, Mr. Chair, and there have been two people that mentioned that position to me previously, and I've spoke to one and not the other, so if we can carry that to next month.
All right, sir. Yes, we sure can. Thank you, Andrew. Now we got citizens comment. Okay, Wanda Burke.
I'm just here to, I know tonight we're going to mention the forensic audit again. Here's where I'm at, and here's where a lot of people I feel are at. I feel like we're just kind of pushing it aside and pushing it aside and pushing it aside. Last year at the budget meeting, as soon as it was Nate, I think, that brought up giving the tax increase that David and Steve had talked about it, y'all jumped on this. If this is what it's going to take to get this to go through, we'll do this audit. Yet here we sit. I understand there's a lot that has to be done, but there's a lot of questions now, even more so because now we're told that the PSA information is with the state police. We know there's a school budget that is already talking an increase because of this. It'll be because of the state. But I just think we need to get this going. Everybody up there last year at that meeting talked about transparency. And I think there's a lot of people questioning, really, are we ever going to see the transparency? Because we're not getting anywhere with it. I think normally when things get put on the burner to be done, I know it's between Lonzo and David, chair and vice chair, to kind of get the ball rolling. I think we need to do that. Because I think people are sitting back going, here we go again. They're not going to do it. We're not going to find it out. So why did we bother? But like I said, especially with finding out PSA records are at the state police, and you don't think people are questioning why? Sure they are. I just think it's something that we need to get on the ball with, and we need to do whatever we got to do, because there's another budget coming up in just about 3 months. It's not going to be long, and we're going to go through this all over again. We raised everybody's taxes. We're not going to give them their tax money back for what we raised it to. And are we going to come back and say, well, we're going to raise it again, but we're not going to give you what y'all asked for and what we voted to do? I just think it's time that we start getting this taken care of, and let the people know that you really were serious about this. We raised the taxes. It's time to come through with what you raised the taxes for. Because I remember as soon as Nate brought it up, David, you said you were for it. Steve said he was for it. All because it was going to get that tax rate. We need to get busy then. That's all.
Okay, I'll close the citizens' comment period. Constitutional officers reports and requests. Bill, do you have anything, sir?
I don't have anything as far as requests goes. Y'all are working on a few things and being patient with a lot of things, but would report that the new landing zone up here, the trees have been laid down except for a couple down there at the fire department. The stumps are being ground down. It's looking really nice. Robbie Hamilton came over and looked at it and really liked it, and we'll be ready for it. If anybody has anything of me, I'm here to answer whatever you want to send my way.
Mr. Watson, I appreciate your statement that
Thank
you
you.
put out in reference to all the legislation that is being proposed in the legislature about the Second Amendment. I do appreciate you making a public stance on that. It's very important.
Thank you, Nate. Just ask everybody, keep all our troops in thoughts and prayers while going through this difficult time, and I hope that our nation gets behind everything and does the right thing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Bill. Any other constitutional officers out there that I can't see around the curve? No. County attorney reports and requests.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So the first item on the county attorney's report is the election districts and precincts boundary ordinance. That was discussed last month and passed. I believe Mr. Lester is working on pulling it up. But essentially, the voting location at Copper Creek was lost when the school was sold. So that precinct has been dissolved and split in half between South Castlewood and Moccasin. So that split, it's very simple now. It's up South 71 from the Scott County line, out 58 until it turns up North 71 coming to Lebanon. So very simple break there, and then it ends at the north boundary where it always has. So at the power line that cuts across North 71 near Crossroads Road. So that change has been effectuated. Notices have been sent out from the registrar's office, is my understanding. So we are good to go there. Second thing on the county attorney's reports and requests is the Virginia special election on April the 21st. That's the one dealing with the gerrymandering from the state legislature. Of course, there's numerous lawsuits filed at this point. The Virginia Supreme Court has punted the deadlines for that out until after the elections to take place. So I believe this is something that we will see go forward with special election on April 21st. I believe the Supreme Court's, not to speculate too much, but I believe they're wanting to see if the voters can resolve this on their own before they have to make any sort of major decision. So, of course, everybody go vote April 21st. But the board passed a resolution last month talking about their opposition to the proposed legislation. And if we see the map that Mr. Lester's pulled up, this is essentially what we would be looking at should that special election be in the favor of the Democrat Party. You can see we are in the purple in the 9th district. That district currently ends just about Roanoke County. It has a portion of Roanoke County in it and extends out to Martinsville. So it doesn't really change anything on the easterly boundary of the district. But if you look up the left side up the West Virginia border, the new proposed district would go all the way up. It would include Highland and Bath County. It would include part of Augusta County, which is the Stanton area near Charlottesville. It's one of those things I've heard it bounced around of, if you say that you don't see your congressman now, and it's already a district that's bigger than the entire state of New Jersey, that he has to cover all of that. So if you're thinking you don't see him now, he's going to have quite a bit more territory to cover. I want to, of course, on county attorney's position, thank Mr. Griffith for what he does, but this is what we would be looking at. And of course, the board passed the resolution last month in their opposition to that referendum. The third and final thing I have, Mr. Chairman, is the forensic audit request. So last month we tabled that for the budget committee to meet and discuss that, look at the funding for it. I would ask, the budget committee, kind of for an update there as far as that goes, see what action the board would like to take. We presented last month that the forensic audit committee had met, narrowed down the option to one, and that would be UHY's firm. The price breakdown, as we see here, $217,000 and some change. So that would be my understanding, unless something's changed from the forensic audit committee members, that'd be the proposal to bring to the board. But last month we'd put that in the lap of the budget committee's hands to see where the money was, see what we wanted to do with it. So the next item up would be from the board, a motion to either table this to next month to allow the budget committee to investigate the funding further, or to hire UHY to conduct the forensic audit, or to strike it down altogether. But of course, as mentioned here in the public expression, the board did vote to have this forensic audit last year.
Yeah. Chair, Mr. Chair.
Let's go ahead.
Okay. Had a question. Unfortunately, I was not able to make the meeting last month due to work, but wanted to clarify a couple things. One thing Ms. Dye asked about per diem and hotels and food. My understanding in our meeting with UHY, there would be no additional charges to what we had on there, and you stated that there would be per diem and hotel and food expenses on top of that. It could go higher. Is that an accurate representation of what we've negotiated so far with UHY? Because I don't feel like that was in any of the negotiation.
The per diem? Yep.
Correct.
Yeah, 217 is the only number we've had. If they mentioned the per diem, then I imagine that this is factored in.
Okay, there was no discussion in any of the meetings I was in. So Ms. Dye, to answer your question, then no, that is the final in total tally. In discussing this, do we need to have a motion or anything to discuss this, or can I just discuss this since it's under?
Yeah, I'll give you the
Okay.
opportunity
Okay.
to open up for discussion.
So I just got a question about, I know we're facing some other obstacles and things as far as financially that we're needing to take care of. And unfortunately, I did miss them last week and didn't get all the whole picture. So, Mr. Lester, can you give me an idea about what we're looking at as far as the things that right now we know that are above and beyond our budgeted numbers for this year, expense wise?
That's as far as this year.
Yes, sir.
Okay. As far as this year's budget, of course, we have one of the first things that we have looked at is, of course, the CSA. Right now, we're running, and then Miss Dye's been in those meetings, and both Miss Dyes. I got one. I got one Dye that's on the CSA board. I got one Dye that's on the DSS board. So right now, currently, and what we are projecting right now, as of this month of February, we're running at about approximately 300,000 in arrears. So we're going to have to find at least $300,000 plus what other issues that have come before the board throughout the year, as far as LTZs and projects that we put in place and the board has approved on these line items that weren't approved in the original budget. So between them both, we're looking at, and includes the animal shelter, which we've got a good portion of the funding on, but there's other things that we're working on. You're probably looking at the 450 range. Now that's a good estimate. And yes, sir. Now,
my real concern about that is that we've still got 4 months left on the CSA.
Yeah, and it's
Now,
running.
is that 300,000? Is that projection of what we'll have for the year, or is
that's what we'll owe
to date? That's a projection of what we'll owe at the end of the year.
Yeah,
extra
300,000.
300,000.
Extra
Okay.
300,000.
I just want to make sure.
Yes,
Yeah,
extra
it just depends on if we keep on at the same level we're at now. It could be bad. Yeah.
Sure. And so does that? I don't really the inner workings of that. More kids get into that, the higher the price. The less kids in that, the lower the price, right?
Yeah.
So it's possible that we have cycle
can-
in or out at any time.
Tara, you jump in on the CSA and the DSS part. CSA is only a advisory board. They only pull together what DSS board has approved to be paid. DSS board approves for the children, all the foster care, and that goes up and down. That fluctuates because you never know how, is it going to be a school referral? Is it going to be a court referral or what? And it is the payment for a foster care child. CSA is your community management board. It is not a paid board. It is simply pulling the court system, your health department, your social service board, and your government board together, and they see what DSS is spending.
Okay.
And it does fluctuate, and it's nothing that they can really,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's one of those things.
Just like she was saying, it is something that is it's not a management issue from DSS. It's just purely what you get dealt.
Right. It's the
basically.
circumstances.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
Understand.
if y'all will take a look up here, this is the current CSA budget. When we first started off the year, as y'all can see, we're running about 400,000 monthly on this for a total of about $4.8 million budget. This, as far as the CSA, what they had done on this, as here into their budgets. Let me pull up the expenditures because the budget committee is currently working on these. As you can see, right now they got 4.2, dropped by $600,000 just from their funding level from here.
Right.
One of the agreements with the state is we have to pay 18.94%, no matter what the run over is per mandatory services. Based off the 400,000 you've seen previously, it's a 4.8 million. Our 20%, you can run the numbers. So just that one line item, let alone anything else that we have to do or incur during the year. Now, what we're concerned with is that Mr. Breeding and Mr. Hensley is on. This not only goes to the June 30th, we've got to also come up with additional funding with no tax increase. This has got to go on the 1st of next year. So you're trying to catch what expenditures you've got coming in to June the 30th to balance the budget by law. And then you're going to have to put in place, because these are mandatory services that are running this. We got one child that's running $20,000 a month. And that, I'm not letting any PPI information out, but we do have one child that's running 20. We got one that's running 15, and the ones that sit on the board know this. We don't see anything based off the treatment teams or acuity teams from the DSS or the CSA that there's anything that's going to come off of this anytime soon. Only what could occur is it go above 300. So right now we can almost estimate, based off of what their numbers are running, what they've got in the treatments, and they're in their treatment hospitals. That's what we're going to incur.
I will tell you, Mr. Kaiser, I've been in discussion with some of our legislators, and we had a meeting there the other night at the Cumberland Plateau Planning Commission about seeing if we could do something like a regional orphanage. Talking to Senator Pillion, he said Lee County has one child that's costing $100,000 a month. And these are the things I've kind of spoke on in the past, like me and Andrews had discussions about the unknown. Things that you don't know, you're just going to get, be impacted by it financially. I mean, it's just things that you can't really determine. As both Miss Dias could tell you, if you had 3 or 4 more of these children that came in, it would be catastrophic to the budget. So, I think that, and I mean, we had a really good thing going on at one time through Mountain Movers, where we were going out and visiting the churches. One of the things I think I sent Miss Di here is maybe forming a committee there within DSS just to work and maybe have some pastors and stuff serve on the committee, and the lady from the Isaiah 117 to serve on just a separate committee, just to focus and work to try to get families more involved in the foster care, program. So I guess you got that. I seen it. I know, honey. I didn't try to bother you after I found out your situation. I didn't try to bother you.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that information. I mean, it helps to fill in the gaps, right, and what's going on. So, I've done a little research trying to figure out, how we can pay for that and everything else we've got going on. Talked to Miss Alicia at the treasurer's office, and looking at the numbers, the revenue numbers that we've got coming in, so far so good, right? But we're looking at right now, we're actually collecting over our budgeted amount in 2 different categories by significant amounts. One being the machinery and tool, which during the budget meetings I mentioned that we already knew we would be far beyond the budgeted amount because of the assessment and the tax rate. So we've got roughly current to date, we're over $390,000 in tax collected in machinery and tool. So that's excellent. And then additionally, in public services taxes, we are way up. In public services taxes, we've collected over budget by $446,000. So that is a total of $836,506.82. So if my math is correct, which I think it is, the estimated $450,000 of expenditures that we're looking at potentially, we still have lots of room for paying for this audit. So that is my suggestion, is that we go ahead and tackle this. Now, if the board is not willing or wanting to expend $217,000, I completely understand. It's not a small amount of money. we do have options and still be able to get this audit done. I don't know what the process is legally, but we do have other bidders that if the board won't approve one, there is a process to go to another. Is that correct?
That would be great. Yes.
Okay. So, I guess I want to call for a vote for UHY to approve their audit.
Can I speak before then?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. Now, what you mentioned on the taxes, the 5 top taxes, these 2 line items are running over. But what you got to remember is here's the budget that was ran with Mr. Hensley and Mr. Brady. This was done on February 26th. This is the treasurer's numbers. But what you got to remember is on those 2 high numbers of the 5 total taxes, even though some of them are coming in high, I have machine and tool that's down. Right now of the 770,000, I've only collected 254. What you got to understand is because one's running high doesn't mean all of them is going to come in high. You've got to have from a cash flow perspective, you got to be able to do it. So the public service is running over. That's a one-time annual anomaly. That's probably what the treasurer. I hope that's what the treasurer.
Yes, it is a one-time thing. And it's a half through the year. We'll have another $47,000 coming in the second half of the year, which may or may not be that or more.
Right.
So, it is great that come in high. That was good for our budget, right?
Right.
And that's not something that, according to the treasurer, that we could even budget for because that's done by the state. So that was not an oversight in the budget. I do feel like the tool and die, though, we knew ahead of time exactly how much we would bring in, and yet we didn't account for that $390,000 that we were going to get additional to the base. Which of course $390,000 is no small amount. It's enough to pay for this audit, and with the overages, this audit's a one-time thing as well. Yes, these numbers are one-time things. The public services amount is a one-time thing, but also is this audit. And yes, next year we've got to account for the CSA, so that's very important. But we're not talking about next year's taxes. We're talking about this year's.
But again, you got 5. You got to take 2 to cover 3. That's just the numbers. Mr. Brady.
Where's real estate at right now?
Oh, real estate right now, with even at the 57.9, which was the question that was asked. Right now, based off of what we have collected at the end of last year and this year, I think there's like about a $58,000 difference. So that one is close within the range. That's pretty good guessing, that 57.9. But that 57.9 is to pay the bills. That's not an excess. So the mineral tax again, what we're trying to collect, we're still down $513,000. If the public service taxes that is going to come in, it came in at $369.
Did you say mineral taxes?
Yeah.
According to what I've got, it's $56,000 on mineral taxes that were down.
Yeah, 500. I got 513 running on the 26.
That we're short.
We still lack 513,000 collecting. Yes.
For the year.
Yes.
There's the first half and second half. So we haven't received the second half yet.
No, you have that. The mineral tax. That is correct. That is correct. You go down 132,000 out of the first half.
Right.
132.
Actually, and then you got carryover from last year, which brought it down to only 56,000 short.
But what you got to remember is on mineral tax, if you come out the first half down that much, you could actually come out in the second half down that much. So if I take that 132 times it by 2, I could be down $260,000 easy from the mineral tax. What you got to remember from the mineral tax, and Andrew sets on the co-severance, which we've only collected, and I can show you that number. We're down to almost nothing, around $117,000. I think that was the last time I looked that we had.
But you're taking that whole number and times it by 2.
Yeah,
but it's not that whole number because we collected some at the end of last fiscal year, that brought that number from 132,000 down to 56,000. So you're
On the
actually,
mineral tax?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've done my research. I've done my research. I'm looking at all the numbers to make sure we're 100% right here. We've got the money to do this, is what I'm saying. We've got the money to do it. Whether or not y'all want to do it is the question.
Mr. Kaiser, I got a question for our attorney here. Can we take that bid that we got and break it down? I know it was to encompass several different parts of county government, PSA, school, whatever. Can we pick and choose what we want done in that audit? Did they bid that way, or is it bid as a whole, and it would have to be bid separately?
So it's bid as a whole right now. They just give the breakdown for how much time they would anticipate on each individual piece of the government. I suppose we could go back to them and ask them, what would it cost to do, say, just PSA and just school, or just BOS and just PSA.
I make a motion to do the school and start that negotiation by our county attorney and county administrator.
Second.
Clarification, you want just the school alone?
Just the school. Start an audit. Well, start the negotiation on what it's going to cost for just the school. And then if we come up with money, I know we got 2 more meetings, I think, this month, right, Steve? So as we're moving along, we're going to see how stuff is going. And then we can go from there on the rest of what's going on.
So if you take this at face value for what you're suggesting, I don't know what the number's going to be. Obviously, they're going to have to bid it for us. That would, I assume, change the RFP, correct?
Yes and no.
Yeah, that should change pretty much everything, shouldn't it?
The UH1 would have to agree to that. If they could do it for 85,290, which is what schools broken down at.
So if we do the school at 85,190,
85,290.
290. Okay.
I'm sorry. No, the school, the 85,290. That is correct.
Okay. So if we rejected that total bid and we went to the secondary number 2 that we selected, can I discuss that, Mr. Attorney?
We've got a motion and a second on the floor.
I'm having a discussion.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So I'm asking the attorney a
So you should
question.
be able to go
Yeah.
ahead and discuss.
I would err on the side of let's just keep it to 1 for now. I mean, I think you can talk broad strokes.
Yeah.
What we've seen from option 2 without naming names or anything like that.
Sure. Or prices. I don't want to go out and
Having been through a lot of
Yeah.
this, the proposer side, you can't even talk to number 2 until you reject it.
Exactly. So
I mean,
I don't.
our vote originally was for a full county audit, correct? I mean, that's what we voted on. So, I mean, if you're saying that we can afford it and you think we can.
I mean, I'll give you the numbers. We got right now an overage in tax revenue that we've collected. Now, granted, he's correct that some areas are not 100% of those budgeted. But in talking to Alicia, in those areas such as real estate and personal property, those generally catch up throughout the year as liens and stop registrations get put onto the rolls. So I'm gonna make a substitute motion that we approve UHY as a whole at the 217,000.
I'll give you a second on that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? I'll do a roll call on this one. Okay, start with Nate.
Just to clarify, Mr. Chairman, what exactly are you voting on at this point?
Full county.
Okay. And Mr. Hensley's motion, do we need to have a vote on substituting his motion to substitute?
You just give me guidance.
That's what I would do. We need to have a vote for Mr. Kaiser's motion to substitute Mr. Hensley's motion. before we can vote on what the actual merits of that motion is.
Okay. Everybody understand? So, no, I didn't hear everything.
Repeat the motion.
So we're gonna.
So Mr. Hensley made the motion first, and he
Okay.
got a second. Mr. Kaiser then made another motion. He also got a second, and his motion was to substitute Mr. Hensley's. Of course, you can only vote on one motion at a time. So at this juncture, you just need to vote on Mr. Kaiser, or not even on Mr. Kaiser's motion, but on the substitute language of it. So
Vote to allow the substitute.
yes, vote to allow the substitution. So if you vote yay here, you're voting to then go on to vote for Mr. Kaiser's motion. If you vote nay, you're voting to go with Mr. Hensley's original motion and take it to a vote.
Okay.
One more time.
Okay.
To start, we're voting on names first.
No. Whether or not to consider.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Are we still from a legal perspective under discussion here?
Yes.
I can say. Well,
until someone's
the reason I think that I wanted Andrew and Steve, I guess, to be on the budget committee is because the budget itself is a pretty intense mechanism. One, Andrew and Steve's only had one meeting to be able to see the numbers. Nate's done his own homework when it comes to looking at the numbers, and I think from the perspective of the budget committee, in all respect, there's going to be some other items, not just the CSA, but we've not had a report from the Waste Management Authority on the trash and what that's going to look like. We've not had other reports on some of the other items, and these are real numbers. These are not. You can't go off projections. You cannot with a budget. You can't go off projections that you're going to collect the money. That's the reason I wanted Andrew and Steve to be able to dig into this thing very deep and take a look at it, because if we end up short, then we're going to go back to where we can't facilitate this. And I mean, I support the forensic audit. I don't have a problem letting everybody know that. I just want to make sure that the affordability of everything else, and we don't cut ourselves short and not be able to pay for these other things that's mandated by the state for us to be able to pay. And I don't know how many more kids that we could end up with, but we're going to have to come up with solutions to these issues to be able to fix some of those so it don't cripple us from a county perspective. And I'd like to hear some of the solutions that people are coming up with to fix some of these problems, and get some other people involved to try to help us counteract some of these things, because it could be devastating. Look around. Look at Wise. Look at Tazewell. Look at Bristol. Look at all these other counties. I just don't want to see us get ourselves in a position to where we're in another deficit. We worked our way out of that when I first got elected, and we got a great bond rating right now. I just don't want to see the county go backwards, and that's just my feeling on it. You guys, if you feel that we're going to collect that kind of money, thinking that we're going to collect that kind of money, and we don't collect that kind of money, what's your options from that?
Mr. Chair, can I say something? So when we did this vote originally, like it has been stated, the tax increase was voted on because we could get the forensic audit. That was kind of the deal. And I know it's been said, well, we did the vote, but we didn't make a way to do it. I don't know where that got lost in translation, because anytime we make a vote any other place, it gets done. So it's kind of like this was just like, well, we'll just put that on the back burner. We've got what we want. We won't think about it. But that doesn't change the fact that it was voted on by a majority on this board. And I mean, I don't understand why we voted on something and there's not been a way made for it. So that's why I think we should go ahead and move forward with it.
We can't make projections of revenue we don't know about. I mean, that's the only way I would know to make a way for it.
I understand what you're saying, but we voted on this last year.
The good news is we're not talking about revenue that's not being collected.
Yeah.
The numbers I'm giving you is revenue that has been collected already.
Well, like Lonzo said originally, it's just these unknowns. We don't know what CSA is going to get.
And Iran might throw a bomb right in the middle of Lebanon. I mean, there's so many what ifs. I mean, you can't what if to the end of the cows come home.
Well, I think we've had several years' experience with this CSA, and I mean, the first year it bit us hard. I think the first change order we saw was like for $127,000, and that was just our percentage of it.
So we should set tax rates based on what ifs.
Well, you set your tax rate to pay
Yeah,
your bills.
you're saying, what if we continue to collect this? We don't know that we're going to collect.
That's what we did. We set the tax rate just to meet the mandatory bills.
Well, it was voted on to meet the mandatory bills, but also do a forensic audit.
Well, I mean, you said on DSS, did you have any other expectation that you're going to have this issue?
I mean, you never know what's coming, but at the same
But
time,
how are you going to pay
it
for it?
it was voted on.
Do you know how we're going to pay for it?
Well, Nate just said.
I mean, how are we going to pay for any additional CSA issues?
Nate said that we could do this. I mean, as far as what he's looked at.
Well, I don't guess you need a budget.
And I understand that, you know, things do happen and do pop up, but,
well, you know.
I've got the numbers that we're covering the CSA 300,000 extra. We're covering the 207 or the additional $150,000 that Mr. Lester estimates in that. We're covering the $217,000 for the UHY budget or UHY audit, and still have an excess of $169,000, and that is to date.
So that sounds pretty
already
good,
collected.
Lonzo, when do these funds show up? Do they show up the end of the year? Do they show up incrementally, monthly, or what? The two categories that Nate's talking about.
They're currently year to date collected. They're in our bank account.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the additional monies that you're talking about.
The additional monies. Well, it's just like, and it'd be good if the treasurer's here. It's just like the real estate on the second half when it comes in. What you collect may run over the June 30th date, depending upon when they pay. Of course, they go into delinquency.
So we're good for this second half then.
Well, no, I can't attest to that, and I won't.
Through June.
I'm telling you right now, and I will not. No, it's too long.
There was an auditor came in here last year and said that we was running about 3.8 million in the bank year over year, and about 11% of our budget, and that he said we needed 16%. So
that's correct.
If we've got $3.8 million in the bank, that should cover any kind of little hiccups that would go on between now and the end of the year, I would think. Now, he did say he would like to see us have 16%, but I'm sure my banker would like to see me have a little more money in the bank, too, before I come to borrow money. But, you know, we have what we have, and 3.8 is a pretty good little nest egg, I think.
Additionally, we're going to have revenue coming in from the second half personal property, and there's a couple other categories. I think minerals is coming in the second half as well. So this is not where we're at right now. It's not for the rest of the year. We don't have to stretch this to make it last to the end of the year. And to Andrew's point, we do have a bit of a cushion. Yes, we could have more, but there's your what if. There's your what if something happens?
And like
it's not,
out,
and it's not should not be used willy nilly, no doubt. But like you said, there are what ifs sometimes that pop up. Just like there's a what if that excuse me, just 1 second.
But like you pointed out, Nate, that this is a one-time deal.
Yeah,
this is not going to be something that we pay for every year,
right,
year after year.
Just like the what if of, did we what if know that the public service tax was going to be an extra $446,000? No, we didn't know that. That's a what if. That's great. That's to our advantage, right? So what ifs don't always happen in a negative light. Sometimes they happen in a positive light. So, I'm just saying, like, I don't want to play the what if game. I think we should take up the UHY. If we vote it down, then we can take up the secondary forensic audit option.
Well, since you serve on the Waste Management Authority, what's your projections? Since we're talking about projections, what's your projections on garbage?
We don't have. We haven't started our budget yet. but our rate is locked in the same.
Oh well,
The manpower.
some of that was passed on to the county. It was like $120,000 that you all voted for to pass it on to us as far as the county, and to give Toby a pretty hefty increase or a bonus.
Toby got no bonuses. Well, he got a small bonus of
He-
Christmas. I think $500.
Yeah.
But
Well,
if you want me to go
I'm
get
just
that from him,
wondering
I can
that.
go. I go shake him down. I get that $500
Well,
back.
I'm just saying that was passed to us, right? Huh?
What's your point?
Well, that's my point. I
We
mean,
got trash. We got to pay for it, don't we?
well, how much do you have any idea what that could be on the increase?
I don't know. We don't have none our budget yet,
That's what I'm
David.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
You're playing what ifs again,
you don't
David.
have an idea what it's going to be, and that's going to be a
You
recurring.
didn't have an idea that public services. You know what I had an idea about, David? I had an idea that the mineral and tools tax, the machine and tools taxes, was going to be about $400,000 higher than what was estimated in our budget that you sat over. And guess what? It was. We're at $390,000 right now.
We've
A
done
machine
a
and
dang
tool
good
higher,
job since I've been around.
higher. Why wasn't that in the budget?
What do you
Why?
think?
Why wasn't that in the budget? I asked multiple times during those meetings. Why were we missing all that tool and die tax? Why was that not in our budget? Why were we doing a budget that wasn't accurate?
Well, I put everybody.
Here's the money.
I put everybody on the budget committee. Everybody had the opportunity to ask any questions.
And I brought it up many times,
Okay.
multiple times.
So while we're sitting here, just give you an update. Now, again, back to the February budget. This is the revenue that's being collected today as of February the 26th that the budget committee looked for. The revenue's got to match the expenditures. So this is quick and fast. So as y'all can see, we've collected 25,397,943.26. That's our revenue. That's it. That's what we've collected. So let's go down to what we have expended. So keep that number in mind. We've collected 23 and we spent 23,672,000. There's no big cushion here. That's the real budget. There's your expenditures to date. 23,672. You got the revenues that are here. What y'all got to remember is the difference between right here and here is what's coming through in cash flow. What's coming through the school board, just based off of local funding alone, is $1 million plus per month, just in local. So these are the real numbers. Y'all do at the discretion of the board. So I mean, y'all can do an abstract right real quick. So that's the real numbers right straight from the ledgers.
So it's 26 million expenditure.
Here's your numbers. You got in revenue. Here's your revenue. This is the same numbers that we looked at the other day. 25,397,943. $397,943. Okay. Let's go down to the expenditures because you got to see what you got to remember is, guys, Constitution officers in schools, you're paying up front. All the salaries, this is reimbursable. So you got to have a heavy cash flow. That's why the auditor wanted 90 days on file, in the bank at one time. So now you have 25 million. So minus 23,672,804. That's one payroll that's one payroll of the county between the schools, and that don't even include the Constitution. That's just the county. That's it. So y'all make the decision. But when I asked last year, and it's on tape, y'all can go back and review it. When Steve Rading asked me, what do you need to pay the bills? 57.9. And how close are we on that? Andrew's heard the numbers on the real estate. We're off $30,000. And I may have to give 52 of it back because of of correction. So that's what we've got. Council decision.
Any further discussion?
Well,
Okay, and to clarify on what we're voting on this first thing, Mr. Hensley made the motion to begin with. Ms. Wallace seconded. That was the motion to only do the schools in the forensic audit, or to pitch that to UHY, see if we could do a change on it. Then Mr. Kaiser made the substitute motion to approve UHY's bid in full. That got a second from Ms. Teradite. So what we're voting on here is whether we're wanting to later vote on Mr. Hensley's motion or to go ahead and vote on Mr. Kaiser's motions on the merits. So if you're voting yes, you're later going on to vote, the next vote will be on Mr. Kaiser's motion. If you vote nay, the later vote would be on Mr. Hensley's motion.
So yes for the full amount, no, 85.
Yes to consider my motion. No to consider this.
State that again.
Yes. So Mr. Kaiser was correct there in his explanation. So voting yes here is to consider Mr. Kaiser's motion,
no.
but to vote no is to consider Mr. Hensley's motion.
Yes,
And then we'll have a second vote after this on, or how that first vote falls.
Okay, roll call.
Yes is for Mr. Kaiser's, is no is for Mr. Henry's.
Correct.
I'll start with Mr. Kaiser.
Yes.
Mr.
No.
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 Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay, then we've got the secondary, Mr.
Yes.
Hensley's.
So what was the vote total there for the roll call?
4-3.
4 against, so go to Mr. Hensley's motion. So the motion on the table now would be whether to go back to UHY and ask about only doing the school in the audit, or to strike it down, or to leave it completely and then go back to discussion.
Okay, we got a motion. Do we have and we had a second? Okay, and we'll do roll call. Mr. Kaiser.
No.
Voting on Andrews. If we want Andrews to say yes.
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 We're voting on his.
On Andrew. Yes, ma'am.
No, I want the full audit.
Sorry, I just need clarification. Just clarifying that you voted yes, and so that you were voting for Nate's against your own motion.
Correct.
Did you just say yes?
Yeah, he voted for his own business.
No, no. No, this was before it was voted yes. You voted yes.
Yeah.
So that
Yes.
Yes, his own motion.
Yes.
Considering mine.
Yes.
To consider.
Yes.
To consider that.
Yes.
that wasn't considered for the next motion. Just clarifying.
Yep. Direction. 30 step.
Tara, and then on yours, Andrew.
On your vote. On your motion.
Lou.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Take the moving it.
Yes.
Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep. So it'd be
That's
5-2
5-2.
for Mr. Lester and myself to go back to
Yes.
UHY to get an
Yes.
official bid on what it would be to
Yes.
just do the school.
And I mean, wow. Okay, now we'll move on down to the county administrator reports and requests.
Thank you, Chairman.
Like a baby, Randy. You need to be quiet. Don't call me a liar. Don't call me a liar. I can have you removed from this meeting. I can have you removed. You really? Really?
Mr. Chairman,
You've got a time.
Chairman,
Mr. Chairman,
Chairman,
Yes.
let's move on with the meeting.
Yes, move on with the meeting. Reports. Go ahead.
okay, now I gotta find out where I'm at. All right. Let's go back to here. All right. Thank you, Chairman. First on the county administrator reports is the Route 1958 Hansonville intersection project. This is the intersection that was discussed before, that they had the public hearing on, that Mr. Hensley attended on the public hearing. As y'all can see, this is the new layout of the latest proposal at the Route 1958. Take a look at that, and if you all have any constituents that are, is everything okay? Okay. Okay. Take a look at it. Look at what they're designing. Mr. Hensley and I've been in multiple meetings. Get ready to go to a meeting with Ms. Dye. What, next week? No, this week. This Thursday, isn't it? Thank you. So take a look at that one.
Mr. Lester, if I
yes,
can
sir.
add something to that, just so the public knows before we start getting phone calls about this. This is a 6 to 8 year thing. So it's being mentioned now, but it's not going to happen anytime soon, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Hensley.
And I rode through, this is on the SMART scale. This is a program that is on the 6-year plan. Now, it sounds like a long time, but Miss Dye, they're working in her area, as you see down in the Word of Victory Church right now. They're
Elk Garden Hill.
Yep, yes, thank you. They're working on Elk Garden Hills, y'all see. That's one of these same number of projects.
Well, let me say something here real quick. Miss Dye had a good point that everybody needs to slow down. She's told me numerous times the public needs to slow down right there.
They are going fast.
There was a really bad accident right there, and I mean, from our public's perspective, we don't want nobody to have a serious injury or accident right through there. So you need to slow down to 45. It is very dangerous while they're doing this construction.
Mr.
Thank you, Ms. Dye, for bringing it.
Down at the intersection down in Hansonville, there was some talk at one time about making that a 4-way. Is that anywhere in the plans?
There is a developer right now that's in this area right here. That is looking for development. If y'all have known this right here, it had just sold not too long ago right here beside the Valero. There's a potential business that's going in here. There ain't a potential that's going in. It's, if not,
On the top of that hill.
yeah, they bought this tract right through here. Yes. So what the developer wants to do is work in conjunction with VDOT, and they've already approached them to develop this area back in here. So there'll be a T that will be proposed here, but that'll be
but
in
the
the
developer
redesign.
pay for whatever.
Yes, the
improvements.
upgrades.
Okay.
That is correct. Now we're on to the Russell County VDOT reporting. In this one, as we got complaints on 71, Andrew. And the good thing about that is during our last meeting on 71, that patch job is going to be fixed completely. So that was a temporary fix. So everybody thought, well, Mr. Hensley said over and over they're going to fix 71. Well, that was the patch. VDOT apologized. They ran behind in Buchanan County with over 130 projects, and now they're going to do the job on 71, and they promised to be better than what they had originally promised. Yeah. As far as the paving schedule, Route 71 is in the first of the paving schedule. That's what they told us last week. So hopefully that'll come up. Mr. Saltz on this one, Miss Dye, Rebecca Dye, in her area. I contacted Mr. Saltz and I talked to him about North Mountain View Road and Creekside. That's correct. We'll be talking to VDOT about that Thursday. Also on the Russell County BOS, the residency is not requesting any action. Of course, the residency understands the county is pursuing a potential redevelopment of the Givens Elementary School, which they are, and the Copper Creek School Elementary, which we are. we've got to remove those names. So we'll be working on that at a later date. We're going to take those numbers out. They're still in the state system. Of course, next on the county administrator reports is the county and the PSA project listing. As you can see in your report, there's Tiller Trailer Park, Belfast, Stray Hollow, and Milton's Bottom. In the county projects is we completed the windows replacements out of the Cleveland Community Center. They look really good. We've also upgraded the IT. There's also a project that's not listed on here. The Nation's Conservancy has contacted us about the town of Cleveland Walking Park and the Cleveland Community Center. They're going to pay for the walking park trails. See, that's nice. That'll be very nice. They're going to pay for that and upgrade. We're getting quotes and bids on it right now, and they're going to finish that out for us. Of course, the canneries have been shut down and winterized. The fire department generators have been completed. They're working right now on the community center. The library bathrooms have been completed. We had a water leak of frozen pipes in the circuit court, the old courthouse, during the freeze in the circuit court clerk's record room. And we've been cleaning up and working with VACO to get that repaired along with community workers. The rest is just what's been on the schedules. Next on the county administrator reports is the FY 26-27 financial budget for Russell County. The committee has met once. Like we said before, there's a lot of things that we're going to have to look at. That's just a report. Mr. Breeden and Mr. Hensley has met on it. Next in the county administrator request is the American Red Cross Proclamation Month, March. Time flies. March of 2026. I need a motion for approval to make the American Red Cross month of March.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion, a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you.
This next on the county administrator request is the Southwest Virginia Legal Aid Society, the VOAA Renewal Cooperative Partnership Project Pathfinder. This is a agency that works with our recovery houses. Ms. Dye can explain that. This is actually a renewal of the OAA for $10,000.
And I'll make the motion for that, and then we'll have some discussion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Now
Right.
discussion.
This program helps the peers from the recovery program and drug court program get their driver's license back, help get their children back, things like that. And this is their legal services to help them get back on their feet, help them find jobs and things like that.
Thank you, Ms. Dye. Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Thank you all.
Now, this one was an unusual one. I had to put it. This is the Washington County Moose Lodge. Gave us $5,000 for the animal shelter.
That's awesome.
They heard that what we was doing over here, and they donated $5,000. I thought that was pretty cool. It is great, ain't it? So I need a motion to accept $5,000
I'll
from
make that
Washington
motion.
County.
We got 5, 6, 7 motions and 4, 5,
And I
6.
second.
All in
If we're,
favor?
if we're in discussion,
Yeah, go
I
ahead. I'm
think
sorry.
everybody's worked on that, and thank you to the Lebanon News. I don't know if Sean's here, I can't see, but he did write an article about that, and it's kind of got out into the public now because it's been shared on Facebook, and
Yep.
I appreciate that, because this $5,000 is a direct result of the community talking.
Thank you.
Yes, very good. Thank you.
And the next, I will tell Andrew, the next, we've got another meeting scheduled, meeting with Dr. Meister, and I'll call you and let you know so you can be there.
Yeah. Did
Okay.
everybody complete the vote on the 5?
No, we need to.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Not from Washington County. Life Saving Crew. This is the next on the county administrator request. This is the Cleveland Life Saving Crew. This is a rescue truck that is part of the Swift Water team. As it's in your packet, it's actually a reduced price that they're getting from the Lebanon Life Saving Crew. It's a very low mileage, and they've already came up with money. Where is Miss? You want to talk on it? Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all so much. I know that's going to help the emergency teams with the great work that you all are doing and the time and effort you all are putting into all this. We're grateful.
Yes. Chairman, that concludes the county administrator reports and requests.
Okay, board discussion and reminders. I'll start with Andrew.
We've talked about VDOT a lot here today, and it's already been mentioned we're going to have a meeting Thursday, but I'd just like to thank them for helping us with the 6-year plan and coal severance money, and they worked to get money to fix 71 that wasn't out of our pot, the Russell County pot. It's state of Virginia funds, and I just wanted to thank them. And if you see Jeff Buchanan out or any of the others, tell them thank you, because it saved us about what, $240,000.
Yes, $250,000.
Absolutely.
So they've done a good job for us lately, and hopefully they'll get these projects rolling, and Buchanan County won't flood, or we won't flood, and there'll be some contractors available to get this stuff done. So that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Wallace.
I don't have anything tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, Ms. Dye.
I would also like to thank Jeff Buchanan and VDOT. He's been really good about finding some money for some projects in Cleveland. You know, we're going to be being able to pave Tank Hollow Falls, likely the Pinnacle as well.
Pinnacle.
That's going to be a big deal. You know, so many people come to the Pinnacle, and that road is, what would you say, Lonzo? Horrible. I mean, it's really not good a lot of times, you know.
Will be nice.
So that will be really, really nice if we can get all that done. But he was instrumental in that. Also, Tyler, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Just real quick, where we voted to change that to just the schools. Are we going to have any issues with that? People, you know, looking biased, looking like favoritism kind of deal on that.
Like towards UHY or towards the
Toward,
schools?
you know, like shifting, I don't know, like we're trying to pick on them, basically, is what I'm saying. Because I don't, you know.
Well, I'm not sure, you know, and would
Yeah.
want to speak on their behalf.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how to
That's-
answer that question without
yeah.
speculating too much, and you
I
know,
don't-
I don't want to
Yeah,
you know,
probably
go
not
down
good.
that road.
So, okay, so the vote that we did tonight, you know, we had the vote previously last year. Does that create any kind of conflict where that didn't get done?
I don't believe so. No.
Okay.
So, of course, the motion was made to do the, you know, the countywide forensic audit. Of course, the board still reserves that discretion to alter that in any way. I think that's kind of what we've seen tonight. Of course, it doesn't strike down the totality UHY bid at this juncture. It's just to see if UHY would propose or prepare a bid to only do the schools, and to my understanding would be compare those two prices, see what that would look like, bring it back to a vote at that point, and see what route the board would like to go, whether
Okay.
it's countywide audit or if it's only for the schools.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And one last thing I want to say is everybody please be in prayer for our country. You know, a lot of things going on right now. And then the very last thing I promise, April 21st, the vote. Vote no against gerrymandering. That's all I got.
Thank you, Ms. Dye. Steve?
Nothing other than please go out and vote no on the 21st. I mean, there's a lot of
Early vote.
writing on this. Bring everybody out, anybody out that can vote.
Okay, Ms. Dye?
Yes, I want to thank VDOT also for all the work that they've done. They really have tried to find money sources that it doesn't affect us, our budget locally. So I do appreciate all they do for us.
Okay, Mr. Kaiser?
A few things. One, I do apologize for missing last month. Like I said before, I do want to go on record as far as the resolutions that were considered last month. Um, I I do support the resolutions that were passed for the by the board in being against the gerrymandering, which was the section 6A of the Article 2 of the Virginia Constitution. In support of that. I'm also in support of the opposition to propose the House Bill 1374 and the third one, which was the opposition of the proposed House Bill 1377. So I just want that on the record that I fully support. The board and those actions there. I did have a question for Tyler because I don't guess we voted directly on not accepting UHY's audit bid since we decided not to consider that. Is that correct?
Yes.
So it's still on the table to potentially consider that in future time, either their full audit or another bidder's full audit. Correct?
It is.
Okay. I do appreciate everyone coming tonight. And like everyone has said before, God bless America. God bless our troops, and God bless our leaders. And we'll just be in prayer for those that are making those decisions. They're making life and death decisions. And there's people over there that are innocent, and just pray that our troops and our missiles and our warriors make the right decisions and are just and fair and righteous in their actions. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Kaiser. The only thing I've got is I've asked the county administrator to compile a list of. We've had a lot of our students in our public education system that play sports. I want to give a shout out to the Honecker girls, since these are in my district, and I know you all have them in yours, so I don't want to do that, but I will get the list, and that way we can acknowledge all the success of these kids. Honecker girls are heading to state, playing the state championship, girls basketball. Coach Misty Miller, personal friend of mine and her family, just broke 300 wins. That's almost unbelievable. And then we had the Dye brothers there in Rosedale, Miss Dye's district, that won state in wrestling. We've also had other students and other in Lebanon, Castlewood, and different things that I think that we might have kind of dropped the ball a little bit as far as their acknowledgement. I know the school system gives them a plaque and award, but I would like to get this list at least so we can verbally acknowledge the success that we're having in our system. These teachers and coaches don't make much money at all, and to have this kind of success, I think a coach makes about $4,000 more in a year, and they spend every day, night, and weekends coaching and mentoring these girls. Coach Miller's a very good Christian lady. Not only does she coach these girls, but she puts a lot of things in their life to help them. And you can see that year after year with state championships won and now going back to state again. So I just wanted to honor those that do this job and do a wonderful job at it. So if Lonzo, you get that information from all three, and even down to elementary, I guess. We've had spelling bee and all that. So we've had a lot of things and a lot of good things come out of those. So I do appreciate that. And if we don't have anything else, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Mr. Chair, I've got one thing. I'd like to ask the board if they consider moving next month's meeting to the week after Easter rather than having it the day after Easter. Which would be moving the meeting from the 6th to the 13th.
You want to make that motion? Since we're still. Well, I'm just saying that we probably need to go ahead and advance so the public will know.
I'll make a motion to move next month's meeting to the 13th.
Okay.
Second.
We've got a motion second. Any further discussion? Anybody have any problems with 13? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you for bringing that Because I know you'd sent me a message. Sorry. Okay. We got a
Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all so much.
You said it was going to be a call.